Hi everyone, it's Claire from ScrappyNerdUK and welcome to episode 5 of the Cut Files. And today I am working with another mini album cut file just because I wanted to showcase how easy using a cut file to make a mini album actually is. So I am using the Go The Scenic Route collection from Paige Evans along with a Paige Evans cut file which you can find in her Etsy store, which I'll have linked down below for you. And I have gone ahead and cut these all out on my cutting machine, and I'm just going to start adding the paper layers onto the inside. So the cut file comes with the layers for the inside, and there are also layers for the outside, which I choose not to use in the end, and that's the awesome thing with a cut file as well. So you've got the option to have the layers on, or you could just use it as it is. Now I tend to want to add the layers on. One, because I chose this particular paper with the ledger paper, so it was nice and plain inside, and so that kind of lent itself already to have some layers on, and two, adding the layers on will also give the mini album some extra stability as well. So I'm going to add the layers onto the inside. I did do some distressing around the edges of those paper layers inside just to make it not be so flat. And then I'm going to start working on the areas where I want to add photos and sort the pockets out and such. So this concertina middle bit also comes with the cut file, and there are a couple of areas where, so this one here, there's an aeroplane, there's a suitcase, and there's a globe. So I decided to actually place one of my photos behind the aeroplane, and this worked really well. This is a photo of the desert below from the aeroplane, and so I'm going to add that behind where the aeroplane cutout is. And then just to cover up the back of that photo, there's another aerial photo that I took from the plane as well. And these photos are from our first trip to Vegas in 2010. So I've just chosen some photos and got them printed, and I think they were printed at, I don't know what the inch size is, but they're 4.5 centimeters, I believe. 4.25 centimeters, 4.25 centimeters square. And then I've just trimmed them with the white border around as well on the photo paper. So on the edges of the mini album, there are a couple of little tuck spots where you can add extra photos. So these edges just fold over, and I've used red line tape to stick those down to make sure they stay. And then I'm just going to choose a couple of photos to tuck into each side. And I love having interactive elements on a page where you can pull photos out of tuck spots or pockets or envelopes. I just love the interactiveness of mini albums. And I just decided there I did want to add that paper layer. I was going to leave it for journaling, but I've already got some some of these photos have already been scrapped on 12 by 12, so some of the journaling already appears on there. So I'm just going to make this just a really quick, super cute little mini album, just with a few memories of that trip. I do kind of want to have a little mini album for each trip that I've been on, especially to the States. So this was perfect. And this mini album itself actually folds up like a suitcase, and it is so cute. And you'll see the end result shortly. So we have that suitcase cut out there as well, and I was thinking of backing it with a photo, but my photos were too small, and I could have gone and printed another photo, but I wanted to make this hassle-free. So I did also check to see what it looked like with a bit of pattern paper behind, and I decided in the end just to leave it as it was. I was tempted to add a shaker element, and I may still go back and do that. I'm not 100% decided on that yet, but I'm going to leave it as it is for the minute. And then I need a photo for the bottom, and the flap from the bottom is actually slightly smaller than all of the other flaps. So I'm just going to trim out my photo and then I'll remount it onto some white cardstock just to get that white border around. And then that is just going to be placed on the bottom. And I like to put my photos at odd angles, especially when you can't squeeze them side by side and not have them overlapping. So when I've got the photos overlapping, and I could have printed them smaller and had them absolutely straight, but as I said, this is already a teeny tiny little mini album, so I didn't want to print the photos too small. So I decided to have this overlapping feature, and I had the photos. There's room around that middle part, the middle concertina bit, where you can have the photos hanging off, and it still folds up, but I put too much glue on the edges. Now these little flaps here, they are designed to fold back and create an extra couple of pockets for when the mini album is closed, but I decided that I didn't actually want those on my mini album, so I just cut those off. And these are the layers for the outside. So as I said, it all comes as part of the whole cut file, so you can have the layers or not. So as I said, on the outside I actually chose to go without those layers, and I'm just going to have the outside as is. And then I kept hold of that aeroplane that had been cut out of the middle of the concertina bit, and initially I add it on back onto the inside of the album just by that photo, but I decided in the end that I want something else in that space instead. So I'm just having a look through the sticker sheet from this collection, and since the Go The Scenic Route surprisingly is all travel themed, or most of it's travel themed, then this was the perfect choice to go with for this mini album. So I'm going to use this little sticker that says Scenic Route and pop that on that left hand side. And then this little stamp sticker, it had USA on it, so obviously that was perfect, but when I put it down I realised actually it was too tall for that space, but there was another stamp and a horizontal one that was going to work much better. So these stickers are forgiving enough just to be able to pull it up and pop it back on the sticker sheet for another project. And I decide that I want a little bit of dimension, so I've just popped some foam dots behind the stamp, and there's plenty of room to add dimensional bits and bobs on the inside of this album as well. So adding that foam, I knew that the album would still fold back up, and that's why you'll see that I do use some chipboard as well, because the gusset, the binding bit, the side bits, they're wide enough to hold some dimensional bits and bobs inside. And I really wanted to include this sticker of a map, but I just couldn't make it work. I tried behind the suitcase cutout, I tried on the front, I tried on the back, and I just couldn't get it to work. So again, that's going to go back on the sticker sheet for another project. And then next up, I'm just going to open the rest of my bits and bobs from Go The Scenic Route and pull out a few things that I think I might want to work with and set to work. So I'm done with the stickers now. I'm going to set to work on seeing what other bits I want to add in. So I start with the biggest elements, which are the chipboard, and I pull out this chipboard here that says travel and pop that straight on top of the plane. And then I was going to use this far and wide sticker, but I decide against it in the end because I've got other embellishments that I can use for those spaces. And so I use these puffy words, and I use that word capture. That seems to fit really nicely along the top of that bit there. And I don't have a trick to getting these laid back down with the right spacing. You can see there, I'm just going to need to move them over, but again, they're very forgiving to be able to to do that. So I've popped that word capture on there. I think that's it for the chipboard. So I do just go with the one bit of chipboard that says travel. And then next, I'm using these paper clips from the same collection. I want something just to be able to tie all of that concertina down. And so I'm going to use one of these paper clips and then just fold the banner inwards, so it will still enable the mini album to close. And then we've got the thickers. So these are like a rubber. I think that's probably the best way to describe them. They're like a rubber thicker, and they've got a whole load of different sentiments. So I used the one that said play a little, and it fit perfectly in that space at the top. And then I decided that I've got a sticker over on the left for where it's a scenic route, and I wanted something on the right as well, and I thought a little floral would work. So I tried the pink one and it was just too big. You still need to be able to get the photos in and out. So I'm just going to stick half of that flower down over the pocket, and then I'm going to layer up another flower on top of it. And that still works really well. So I'm now going to work on the straps for the album, the closure to actually keep it shut. And again, the straps come with the cut file, and the score lines are already on there. And I think when I folded it, I completely folded it wrong. So I ended up having to fix it whilst attaching it to the album. But again, it's only paper, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just then going to fold it up ready. And this is the size of the mini album that it creates. And it's really difficult to tell on a video sometimes how big or small something is. And it is a teeny tiny little mini album. So I think it's so cute though. And I love it. So I'm just going to stick down the little latches, as it were, for the straps that go around the mini album. And I'm just going to eyeball this onto the front. And I did use my glue runner for this, but I do actually go back and add some red line tape because it needs to withstand the test of time. And I found that just with this glue runner, which is only a cheapy one, the latches were coming undone. So I have gone back and added some red line tape. So if you are thinking of trying this mini album out, then yes, definitely use red line tape for the latches, or wet glue. That would equally work. So I'm just going to then stick the straps around. This is where I'm looking at what I've done. So I've added glue, but not onto the last part, because you're going to need that movable to be able to stick into the strap, or into the latch. So you'll see there that just then comes down straight into the latch, and that is what holds it closed. And then I've gone ahead and done the other one just off camera, so I don't bore you with the same process twice. And then there's a little handle as well, and I cut this out of the same paper that I used for the layers on the inside. Now I'm just going to lift up those straps again. I forgot to do this first. And I'm going to adhere the end of each strap into, each handle underneath the straps. And I'm just using some of the glue runner. That should be fine. And just gluing the strap back down on top. And then I've just shaped that to look like a handle. And then back into the little latches, the straps go. And as I said, that keeps it all nice and shut. And even if you hold it by the handle, it still holds it shut with those little latches. So I think it's the cutest little mini album. Now I was going to try and use the thickers from the same collection, but as it's so teeny tiny, I had to find some smaller ones. So again, these are another Paige Evans, which are my all-time favourite thickers. And these are the little mini white and navy ones from, I think they're from the Pick Me Up collection. And I'm just going to add on Vegas to the outside, so I know what photos are in this mini album. And then I decided I'm going to put the date on as well, because we've been to Vegas a couple of times. So I'm just going to move my title or my word up there, and then pop 2010 on to the outside of the mini album as well. And then that is my mini album finish. I'm just going to give you a close-up of the inside. So here's the little album, and it opens with the straps. And then my capture words moved because I didn't push the C down enough, but I'll fix that afterwards. So a couple of little photos in there, some in there. We have the middle concertina, and this is it finished. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, I would appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. If you're new here, I would love you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next time for some more cut file and other scrappy inspiration. See you all soon. Bye bye.